Welcome to How We Grow, an essential playbook to grow and scale your vacation rental business with advice and insights from the best in the biz, with your host, Lynell Gordon. Welcome to How We Grow, the vacation rental show. And I want to introduce you to somebody that I honestly don't know very well, that I've just met, but the information that he has for us and for property managers, I think is really important. And I thought it was really important enough to give him the opportunity to talk to you guys, because let me tell you something. How many of you guys play with ChatGPT? I'm just saying, how many of you guys do that at night? Come on, admit it. You go play on this and you don't know what it is, and we don't know how it can help our businesses. But Evan does. Evan, tell me a little bit about yourself. Evan Dolgow.
Thank you, Lynell.
Is that the way you say your name? I want to say it right. Evan, how do you say your name?
I'm the only one in the world, so I accept all versions of it. But Evan Dolgow, it all works with me.
Okay. I just want to make sure. It's really important to me being named Lynell. I have people that call me all kinds of names. So I think it's really important that we say your name right. So thank you so much for that. Tell me a little bit about your background.
Sure. So my background is actually in real estate and hospitality. But about 2 years ago, I had the opportunity to join a team which was bringing machine learning solutions to the vacation rental space. So currently, I'm the head of hospitality at Aidaptive. And long story short, I'm a machine learning consultant. So ChatGPT is one aspect of artificial intelligence. Another aspect is machine learning. So what we do is we take tons of data, put it into the engine, draw meaningful connections. What is the guest purchasing power? What is the guest preference and affinity? And then we streamline an automation of some sort, whether it's personalization or it's just essentially what we've experienced on Amazon, what we experienced on the OTAs, where the more we use it, the better it gets based on our preferences and purchasing power.
Okay. So you know a lot about AI and you know a lot about what's happening with artificial intelligence in our industry. So tell me, what do property managers need to know? And would you please tell the story about the property manager that I'm not going to say got scammed, but did not receive enough education in the background. And that's what I really want to do. I want to help educate people at least enough that they know it's a scam or it's not. So tell me what happened and then help us understand.
Absolutely. So right now, ChatGPT has taken the world by storm. And that's everyone's immediate thought process. How do we use words and AI? And how does it take a lot of our busy work off our plate? So the first thing that comes to our mind is a chatbot. Oh, because chatbots are words and they're also customer service and hospitality.
Okay, wait a minute, just a minute. I want to go back just a little bit. Guys, let me put this in context. So remember when we first started doing OTAs and we needed those responses that would automate, because if we were large companies, like a lot of my clients were, we had to have automatic responses that went back through email. And so we would create that type of thing. Tell me, is that what we're talking about here, except a chatbot instead?
Essentially. And
Right.
The idea is that if you have a chatbot on your website, that could sort of be your concierge. And if ChatGPT can power that chatbot, the world's the limit. Then we don't have to ever hire a concierge again, and this thing will just handle all of our conversations. Now let's jump to reality. Let's look at a case study with Booking.com, a conglomerate worth billions and billions of dollars, who has happened to spend billions of dollars on their chatbot over the last 15 years. Now, Booking.com released, I think a month or two ago, that their chatbot only solves 40 to 50% of all questions without human intervention. Now, if Booking.com is only solving 50% of all inquiries, how in the world is this chatbot company that doesn't even know what a VRM is how is it going to do it? So they were charging this VRM $40,000 a year. And in reality, it was overpromising and definitely going to underdeliver.
Okay. So let me just give an example. On a website that I'm very familiar with, that I helped program, what we did was we created answers to the most common questions. And when people typed in their question, it would search for words in that, and it would bring back different responses. And it would say, is this what you're looking for? Is this? So tell me, in today, 2023, what can we expect from a chatbot for real? And will it help us even? Do we need it now? Is it technology at the place where we can use that?
So from my personal experience, a chatbot is a pretty useless tool in lowering customers or guests into the booking funnel. That being said, if you have a human dedicated on the other side of that chatbot, it is an extraordinarily powerful tool. But you have to have someone there that's going to respond within a minute or two of an inquiry. So I think that's the big differentiation that a company should make when they're deciding, should we have a chatbot that we're going to use it for customer service?
So instead, just have a human on the other end of the chat that actually answers the questions as they're asked.
For now. And the next steps on where this is going, all these companies that are doing it properly, the AI chatbot companies that actually have investment, they have humans in the loop currently. But those humans are answering questions that are training the artificial intelligence to eventually do it itself.
Oh, so that's happening today.
Yep. And there's many companies trying to do it. They call it conversational commerce. But the reality is it's not even effective in e-commerce. How much more so it doesn't exist in our world unless you're an OTA with billions of dollars.
Yeah, no kidding. So I'm a property manager on the California coast. Most of my business is return business. People come to my area because they love my area each year. What can artificial intelligence do for my website?
So first, I guess it starts with the data part and also accepting that vacation rental managers, I know they wanted to only choose the hospitality industry, but if direct bookings are important, unfortunately, they also chose the e-commerce industry. So as a whole, I think we need to just have some e-commerce education, e-commerce best practices, because they have figured out how to convert customers effectively. So what we're seeing is for a direct booking website is they are pretty good at actually driving customers from Google, from social media to their website. And it makes sense. We like clicking on pretty homes and pretty things. The problem is when they come to the website, they're set up to fail. There's giant word blocks. It's unorganized. It's not the streamlined experience that Amazon and Airbnb have trained our brains to expect. So I think the first step is really how to make your website just similar to an OTA's flow, because that's really the expectation. And then it's make sure you're collecting data, because if you don't have data, then artificial intelligence won't work. And that's a really important point, because if these companies are going to come to you and try to sell you all these artificial intelligence solutions, the reality is it needs loads of data. And if you don't have it, there's no chance it's going to work.
How We Grow has partnered with LMPM, a next-generation property management software designed to enhance operations and improve guest experience. Discover a modern take on everything you need to manage your properties. Take bookings, automate trust accounting, and ensure your guests enjoy their stay. Learn more about their lightning-fast property management software at lmpm.com. So you're talking about barriers to sale on our websites. Now, let me just say, the website business, guys, has changed. It's changed in the fact that there's a lot more technology to help us do what we want to do. But the process of somebody coming to a website and you having just a few seconds to capture their attention and help them find a rental, that hasn't changed. I would love to have Susan Blizzard sometime to talk. She's very good at explaining, because that part hasn't changed. And I don't know that it will change. But what you have seen, Evan, and what I hear you saying is that the OTAs and the big billion-dollar businesses there have changed their websites so that it's a more streamlined process. And you have on those websites, within a few minutes, you can ask a question. And guys, someone will reply to you. If you don't believe it, go look for a home. I do Airbnb all the time, and I do verbal all the time. And I can tell you with Airbnb, when I ask a question, literally within 5 minutes, within an hour max, I've got an answer to my question. Now, if chatbots could answer that, because my questions are things like, is there an elevator I have to drag my luggage up? Because those are things I don't know. Is there air conditioning? It's the middle of summer. Those common questions, can we today train a chatbot to automate that and to reply back?
We have to put in the effort. Like you said, the company who has the chatbot, it is gradually training it. And ChatGPT is now allowing a white label. So that way, I think ChatGPT is connected to Google Maps and will be able to answer it.
There is an answer to it that won't change. How far is this from the beach? It's not going to change. Well, it could if your beach erodes or if they do a renourishment. Okay, I get that. But now you're saying that ChatGPT, that could actually calculate it based on Google Maps. Yes, I guess it could.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's coming. How exciting, guys.
Lynell, it's not just coming. We're going to get hordes of them, because all they have to do is just take the ChatGPT guts and put a new skin on it. And now they have their own company that's ChatGPT. So we're going to get bombarded with these chat companies.
My goodness. Holy cow. Okay, I didn't know that they were going to allow white labeling of that. That means that every property, you know what's going to happen? Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to predict that just like Glad to Have You took over with, there was a form of automated replies to guests and a place for them to get information, this is a great opportunity. I bet there are people putting a lot of money in this right now. Is that what you guys are doing?
No.
Okay, good. Okay, I don't try to push vendors. You know that. I do try to get information. But wow, somebody's going to do that, Evan.
Lynell, it's a lot easier to do it as well. I know it sounds complex, but you don't have to be that talented to do it at all, to connect the dots and make a pretty website interface.
Good heavens, guys. We got to hear more about this. If there's anybody out there doing this and you want to share with property managers and help them grow, because this is a growth strategy. If you didn't have 20 reservationists sitting there to talk to people, if those people that are doing reservations, you could have them doing other guest services if you had people to answer all the questions and all the busy work that they had. Gosh, this opens up a lot of opportunity.
So that's where the warning comes in. Before the successful part, we're going to have a really rocky immediate future because of the amount of these companies that are going to start spawning. And they're not all created equally. They don't all have the same pedigrees. So I think that's where the due diligence part comes in.
So how can they tell the difference between, and I'm going to use a word that my husband is Jewish. How do you know if they're a shyster? And that usually refers to a liar, somebody who is selling snake oil. How do you know the difference between someone like that and someone that is honestly going to be able to give you ROI?
I prefer the word shyster. I speak fluent Hebrew, so I can relate to that word. I understand it. And so the way that I would do it is start on LinkedIn. It's such an easy way to check, is there a real team behind this? What is their pedigree? Do they have machine learning engineers, or are they just a bunch of random people who banded together, hired a team somewhere on the other side of the world to white label this product? So
if people have a question, Evan, can they contact you?
Oh, absolutely.
Would you be a resource? Okay. How did they get in touch with you?
Find me on LinkedIn. I'm the only Evan Dolgow in the world.
Okay. And that is EVAN, guys, DOLGOW. So I'm really grateful for you to come chat. Is there anything else you want to let everybody know?
Yeah, it's just AI isn't going anywhere, and AI doesn't equal automation. So I think that's what people need to understand too. It's about taking your historical data, everything from previous bookings to marketing engagement to your Google Analytics, and it's processing all of that to learn from it and then help with your business. It could help with predictive maintenance. For example, review sentiment. If you go through all your reviews, you're going to find trends of certain things breaking, maybe certain vendors getting complained about. That can help you make operational decisions or predictive maintenance decisions. So in order to get to that point, you got to start somewhere. You got to start crawling and you got to start walking. And to start crawling, you got to get educated. So just keep asking questions. And the final note I'll leave with is that humans that use AI will certainly replace humans that don't, because human brains are not good at processing mass data. But humans that use AI can process mass data and deploy it in a few minutes rather than days or weeks.
I personally, now that we've chatted, and I was so curious about the subject, I was just like, okay, Evan, let's just talk. I can think of a number of ways that we can use that. Goodness, guys, this is the future. We're going to have a lot of fun in it. Evan, I hope you'll come back in the next quarter or 6 months or so and say, okay, Lynell, here's what's happened, and we're going to chat about it. Thank you so much for being willing to talk with me. I really appreciate it, and I think that this will help. I do.
Awesome. Every little bit helps.
This episode of How We Grow was brought to you by the lightning fast property management software at LNPM. To find out more about how LNPM can help to grow your vacation rental business, visit lnpm.com. Be sure to search for How We Grow in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcast, or anywhere else podcasts are found, and hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. On behalf of the team here at Inhabit, thanks for listening.